Welcome again to this episode of Seed. As we just continue learning and conversing with our very good friend called Ricky, as he continues to tell us of his story. And I pray that this continues to just challenge your mind and challenge your heart into really exactly what has been placed as a seed in your heart. And if it's really growing to become a tree, that it will be hard to get out of, or it is still a seed that you really want so much, just like Ricky wanted so much to be able to just come out of it and become an overcomer. And so let's continue with this. So Ricky came to a point of where he told me that, you know what, my mom died, passed on, and I remember he expressed so much of how he felt. He expressed so much of how so many things went through his mind. Will he still continue with the same father? And he even expressed anger, and just at this particular point of loss, because the seed of loss had been planted in him, he expressed just the anger even unto God, that God, why did you first take my mom? You should have taken this other one who is worse. You should have taken the dad who was the one who was fighting her and fighting them even now and then. You should have taken the dad because, he was the one at least who was bringing up the anger and everything else. At least that will have been better at any one particular point. And so I failed to really understand where Ricky was leading with this. But later on, he expressed of how, as time continued, he had so many people during the burial of the mom who came to the burial and expressed their condolences of how much they loved her. But this did not stop there. A year later on, Ricky told me that the father also died. And it was really bad. He thought that he would feel better. You remember the question that he was asking himself? He thought he would feel better about it. And so he felt really sad about it. He felt more anger. He felt like the seed of loss has just been planted more and more. And then the same people who were at his mother's burial were at the same burial of his dad. And so he told me of how they came with all sweet words like honey and said, we will take care of you. And said that we got you. You know, like what everyone else would possibly say. Maybe you are on that particular age where Facebook friends are telling you, we got you. WhatsApp friends are telling you, you know what, we got you. We got your back. But do they really? That is the question. Do they really? Because after the burial, nothing much happened, but after the burial, everyone went to their own home. And Ricky was left together with his grandmother from his mom's side. Remember, during this particular time, as he was telling me, he didn't even know his grandmother from his dad's side. And so, yes, he went back. And going back, he totally didn't see any of those promises that people so richly set coming to fruition. And so he felt rejected. He felt like he has been put aside. And possibly you have felt like that. You have been put aside. You have been rejected. Everyone around you is just dying. And possibly even during this time that we have had COVID, people are just falling all around, and you are asking yourself, why is it happening? Why is God allowing this? Why, as many will ask, does a good God allow such evil to continue in this world? Why did he first take the mom, then the dad, and then took Ricky to a place where he didn't even know much about? What was really God doing? And so he continued in his own private ways sleeping, and crying. Crying became his everyday cup of tea. But as we paused a little bit, he told me. Later on, he realized, why not? Why not him? Did he want someone else's parent to die? Did he want someone else's parent to fight? And then he got a very good question from one of his friends who said, God actually allowed you to go through this. Actually, it's not a question but a statement, but that God allowed you to go through this not because you are not able to do it and not because he wants to shame you, but because he knows that you are able to come out victorious from this. And he said that, you know what, you didn't belong to them. You belong to them physically. But you know what? You are a child of God. You belong to him. He loves you. And when this friend expressed this feeling, especially when he said that God loves you, that's when everything just stopped. Because he has never been told like that from his mom or his dad. And possibly you have never heard it from your mom saying that they love you. Possibly you have never heard it from your dad saying that I love you, or any other person. But when you realize that you do not have to receive any love from any other person except from God, that when you realize that God is the ultimate love, that amidst all these things you have gone through, God is not in the business to show you of how you are so weak and you are not able to do it. But he is in the business of showing off to you of how great he is through your life, and you coming out strong and victorious. And so when Ricky realized this, he knew, though he might continue living in pain even through the rest of his life, but right now he had someone to lean on, and that is God. And I want you to remember this. You have someone to lean on. Don't ask again, why me? Why not? Because God knows that you are strong, and his strength in you is able to take you through and come out so strong and even better on the other side. So be strong. Join me again another time as we continue with this episode of Seeds to really understand what happened later on with Ricky. How did he manage? Because he didn't know his grandmother, and his grandmother from the other side, things were not really going on well. Join me next time as we get to know which more seeds were planted and how he dealt with it.